Welcome guys to episode 6 of the van build series. So today I'm going to be cutting the holes in the side of the van for the gas box and the hot water system. So the hot water system I got is a brand called Camec. I got it from a local branch around here, and the hot water system will be heating my shower and my sink, and possibly a back outdoor shower if I put that in. It's a gas instantaneous hot water system and requires a 12 volt hookup just for ignition, and it turns on automatically when you turn on a hot water tap, and it will turn off automatically when you turn it off. It also comes with a little temperature gauge here with a little LCD display panel, and that's just so you can set what temperature you want it to heat to, and if you want to turn it on or off manually. So as for my gas box here, it's a fiberglass gas box, and it's custom made for the Sprinter, so it will contour with the curves of the van. And I got it from another local place around Brisbane called GYVUS Solutions, and they make all fiberglass products. And this gas box in particular fits a 4.5 kilo bottle, just one, but you can buy a bigger one that fits two 4.5 kilo gas bottles inside if you want something bigger. So as for today, I'll just be cutting the holes and mounting them in, but I won't actually be hooking them up because I'm not actually allowed to hook up gas. So I'll have to get a gas fitter in to hook up the bottles, run all the gas pipes, hook up the hot water system, and when I put it in, hook up my gas cooktop as well. So I'll be providing links to either of these products on the blog post for this episode, so you can find out pricing and exactly which model they are. Right, so let's get into it.
Firstly, I'm just figuring out the best way to mount my gas box next to my surfboard. Now I'm just measuring up the size of the gas box and measuring it on the van itself. So I'm just marking out the metal frame that's going to be in the way, and I'm just going to cut it out with my grinder. Marked the edge of the gas box and drilled a small reference hole through. Then I marked up the rest of my gas box using this hole as a reference. To get the box vertically straight, I had to measure off the gap between the door and the van. I checked once more that my measurements were correct using the gas box. I had to use tin snips and pliers to get to the parts that the grinder couldn't get to. I also had to check out some of the floor where the box recesses. I used a saber saw, which handled this job really easily. Next I filed the bird edges, then checked that the box fit perfectly, and then I painted on rust protecting coat. Now onto the hot water unit. I just removed this support and started measuring up and then cut out where the hole needs to be. I'm using 35 by 70mm timbers as a base for my hot water unit to sit on. This time I drilled a side reference and a top reference hole. I measured out the hot water system hole by using these 2 reference holes and also using straight edges. I used 65mm batten screws to secure down the timbers. Now I'm pre-drilling the first 3 top holes and then putting the first 3 screws in. Then I pre-drilled the rest of the holes. The top 3 screws are going to screw into this timber piece that I cut here. So I jammed a bit of 70mm to put some pressure on it so that they screw in. I used this tip from someone in the comments on the previous video, but they said to tape the sides just before you apply your Sikaflex, then neaten all your Sikaflex with a wet finger like normal, and then once you're happy with the job, take off your tape and it should be a nice professional finish. If you get your Sikaflex on the black plastic strip on the side of the van, don't use a wet rag like I did. Just keep it dry and it will come straight off. I protected the drying Sikaflex for about 2 days so that no dirt would stick to it.
So this is the back of the hot water system. We've got the hot water outlet, the inlet for the LPG gas, the cold water inlet, and 12 volt power supply here. Plus it's got this extra one here, this extra cable for the control. So I've just braced it with some timber just so it doesn't move anywhere. It was really sturdy even before I did that, but I just did this just in case. Also, another thing to note, I mounted this right next to the shower and the sink will be adjacent just here. So there's not a far distance to travel for the hot water to get to where it needs to be.
So now I'm pre-drilling the holes for the gas box lid hinge. Then I transferred these measurements to the gas box with an Allen key, and then I pre-drilled them, and then I tapped them with 3 screws. I used Sika Pro just for extra strength, and then I screwed them in. Now I'm just repeating the process for the lid. I grinded off the protruding screws flat, and then I sealed them up with Sikaflex. And I used the same tape trick as I did with the hot water unit. I applied extra Sikaflex to the back just for strength. This is the gas box key barrel and the lock nut that comes with it, and that's the angle. Now I'm just measuring up what height I need to make the barrel on the door. I used a 16mm hole saw to cut the barrel.
So here's the back of the fiberglass gas box. So as you saw, I put in 2 packers just underneath here, just so that when the 4kg gas bottle's in there, it's going to be super sturdy. And then I Sikaflexed it in with Sika Pro, just so that those packers don't move ever again when I'm traveling. So it doesn't take up too much room. The edge of the cabinet's probably going to come to roughly where my boot is. So there's heaps of room to spare. And just make sure that if you put one of these in, that has enough clearance, because you don't want that interfering with the gas box. Alright guys, the gas box and the hot water system are now mounted and installed. So all that's left to do now is to fit a gas bottle in the gas box and fit off the gas and the electrical for the hot water system. So I'm not a licensed gas fitter by trade, so I'll have to get a contractor in to do that. I've already spoken to a guy. He's had a look at the van, and he's pretty happy with how I was going to do this. And he'll come in once I've finished all the cabinetry, and he'll hook up the gas hot water system, run all his gas pipes underneath the van, and just punch up through the bottom of the van where he needs to fit off something. So the only things gas-wise in this van, as I said, are the gas box, the hot water system, and the cooktop in the kitchen. So there's only 3 things. Well, there might be a 4th. I might have, in this back door, I might have like a fold down barbecue for outside. So I want to be able to plug in a lead to the back near this gas box. So that might be the 4th thing if I do that. So this gas box, as I said, should fit about a 4 or 4.5 kilo gas bottle. I'm hoping that just between cooking and my hot water system, it should last me a month, 2 months. I'd be happy with a month, but it'd be awesome if I could go for more than that. So as I said, I have spoken to the gas guy already, and he said that the 2 fans at the top are adequate to pass for ventilation on the roof, but you also need a ventilation point at the lowest point of your van. So we're going to put a little vent just at the entry door underneath the step, so that'll pass that law. I don't know what the gas laws are like in your country, but I'm in Australia, so hopefully they're similar. So as I've said in previous episodes, I always do a blog breakdown for each individual episode on my website. If you head to jazzmorton.com, you can click on the van conversion link, and there's each individual episode broken down with photos, prices, gear, and all the rest of it. So it's a more in-depth breakdown than what I just give in this video in terms of prices and everything. Thanks again guys for tuning into the series. Please comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Catch you guys.